Go ahead.
Okay, so everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm part of the novomind team in South Africa. And a few weeks ago, two major events for the contact center industry took place. One was at the UK Call Centre Expo in London and one in Abu Dhabi at the Abu Dhabi Smart City Summit. As well as these, the GITEX exhibition took place in Dubai just a few weeks ago. I'm very happy to introduce novomind's industry experts that we have with us today, Hossam and Rupert. They attended these events and today they are very excited to share what they learned while attending these events. They will talk about the next generation of contact centers, the latest trends in the call center industry, as well as its future impact on South Africa. So for the next 30 minutes, you will have the chance to find out how these trends can improve the way you service your customers and optimize your business. And of course, Rupert and Hossam will be very happy to answer your questions. Please just use the chat window to post your questions and then we will forward them on to our industry experts. Right, so I know that time is precious to everyone. We only have 30 minutes, so let's start straight away and allow me to introduce our two panelists. We have Hossam. He is the co-founder and managing director for novomind Middle East and Africa. He is a highly accomplished customer experience consultant and business developer with over 20 years experience in the enterprise and customer service software industry. Prior to starting the novomind MEA subsidiary, he held managerial positions at customer service solution vendors like Avaya. Okay, so that's Hossam. We'll move on to Rupert. Rupert is the UK country manager for novomind, and he's responsible for building novomind's partner and customer base in the UK. Most of his experience has been on the technology side of things, with the aim of enhancing the customer journey. Rupert has a strong background in solution delivery, technical architecture, and customer success, and he has a strong passion for customer experience, audience engagement, as well as data management. So now that you know our two protagonists for the day, let's dive straight in and ask them a few questions. Hossam and Rupert, are you ready? Should I fire?
Yes,
Great.
Go ahead.
Right, so this is a question for both of you. You can fight it out who's going to answer when and how. So what would you say is the most interesting next big thing that you saw at the exhibitions, both in London, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi? And would you say novomind is prepared for this next big thing?
Hossam, go for it. You can go first on that one.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. So I actually here in United Arab Emirates or Dubai and Abu Dhabi, we witnessed big actually transformation into the digital experience of customer service. And this actually can be detected in many things, either into the strategy of the government, where they need everything to be paperless, as well as digital touchpoint, self-services. So the big thing which we recognize and we see in both the smart city event in Abu Dhabi and GITEX in Dubai, that there's a lot of self-services offering to customers through different digital touchpoint. Digital touchpoint can be vary from mobile apps, which is traditional, as well as WhatsApp channels, social media, many other messaging channels as well. And this comes with a lot of actually innovation and AI, using AI technology to actually understand the customer behavior and respond to them immediately. So this is actually next big thing that we are moving now into the digital era of customer communication. So even banking, for example, we recognize that banking moving from mobile banking into messaging banking. So the same thing which is people used to do in mobile apps or website, now they can do into messaging or different chatbots in different messaging channels. So this is in summary what I can see. Here in maybe this picture here is that the kind of countries that they always looking for the innovation. We are as a novomind started here 3 years back, and was lucky enough, and we have the owners that we work with many government companies here actually now, and we provide our novomind iAgent platform to automate and serve different use cases, either in government sector like municipalities or in the health sector as well. So this is from my side. Robert, go ahead.
Thanks, Hossam. So first of all, it was really great to attend a face-to-face event, and that was super exciting. I'll give you some of my takeaways. So in general, the footfall, the people there were much lower, but the people there were buyers, so to speak, rather than window shoppers. They were really looking to invest in solutions. Generally, companies were looking to enhance and expand the number of channels that they work with. Some were looking to consolidate different point solutions, where they've got a solution for email, a solution for chat, solutions for bots. So wanting to put those into one solution that's future-proof. So I think there was a lot less interest in these small point solutions. So that was not just with organizations that were established with those solutions, but also customers that were at the beginning of their journey, were really looking to the future and to future-proof their platforms. The most activity I saw was in financial services, local government and energy sectors. Saw companies looking to move away from Skype, and a lot of activity around Microsoft Teams. Quite a few system integrators that are traditionally voice were looking to increase their offering to customers, enhance their portfolio, so to bring in digital solutions so that those integrators could offer digital solutions to their customers rather than just voice. And I think the market is dictating that. So that really is what customers want.
Great, thanks Hossam and Rupert. I'm going to move on to a question just for you, Rupert. What is the best way to measure the impact of customer service or customer experience, and what makes a successful omni-channel experience?
So this is really a huge topic, so I'll try and keep it brief here. So customer experience is make or break in most verticals. It has a huge impact directly on revenue. You need to look at why customers are buying less. I think Amazon is the gold standard here. It's a really frictionless user journey. Young people are less price sensitive, so it's more about the customer experience. So the whole journey for organizations needs to be around keeping that consistent across all channels. So whether that's email, WhatsApp, Facebook chat, and all the other ones. So how do we measure that topic? Well, in effect, it's directly revenue, loyalty, basket size, abandonment. In customer experience specific, a number of complaints, a number of first-time resolutions. There are many tools on the market that will measure, for example, sentiment, and external tools like Trustpilot, social media feedback, which I think are all useful. So it's really looking at all channels, feedback from customers, and how customers are behaving. So, and of course, traditional reporting functions that people have done for years. So looking at where complaints are, trends and problems with customer service are equally important. So that's a kind of short summary. I think that topic could be debated for many hours.
Yeah, I agree, but I think you gave quite a good bird's eye view of that. So thank you. I have a question now for both of you. Are businesses aware of the potential behind using AI technology in order to enhance customer care?
So I think the AI as a buzzword, that's a big word which is already involved not only in the customer service, in many things now, is still in the early adoption phase, and the people still learning what AI can do for them. And those customers only who utilize it well, they get benefit of this, because it is not like nothing will be replacing the human brain or the human thinking. So if we talk about the AI specifically in the enhancing customer care, so there's many use cases or many scenarios where you can using AI actually for the customer care. For example, some of those things is NLP, of course, natural language processing, so we can understand what customer said in digital touch point or in speech, and try to analyze it, and process it. Okay, so this is one of the first application of the AI. Predictive experience, that we can actually predict what customer behavior or what actually kind of product or customer experience going on through doing some analysis. So analysis is part of the AI benefit of customer care. We have also some customer applied, some of our customers ask us to also have, since there is many channels now, and they need to detect using the AI what's the best preferred channel customer would like to have. So they can actually going more, and you can actually decide per customer, not important to be something generic. So for me, Hussam, always contact organizations through WhatsApp. So if I would like to contact Hussam, I will contact him through WhatsApp. But Forward, for example, he prefer to send an email. So I will be able, so this is one of the application as well. And of course, big data and analytics, which is this one of the best, actually the main point where customer care get benefit out of the AI. But again, it have to be used, or it have to be utilized well. Not the AI will never do everything. AI will never replace a human. It should be there is a human touch. So if the applying of AI came with a clear scope, with a clear KPI requirement, it will succeed. This is actually what I can say about this AI technology in enhancing customer care.
Thanks, Hussam. Anything to add there, Rupert?
I pretty much mirror what Hussam has said there. I mean, AI has been around for decades. It's nothing new. It's basically a buzzword, and I think generally it's underutilized within a contact center environment. I think AI is great at processing back-end tasks like categorization, putting inbound requests into workflow. I think one area that I think is fantastic is voice biometrics. So using AI to authenticate users in a contact center, using their voice rather than a whole load of passwords and so on. That's a great example of customer experience. In terms of chatbots, some of the rule-based responses can work, but when you try and take it further and replicate a human, in most cases, it doesn't provide an optimum experience. So I think as AI develops, I think we call this wide AI, so that it offers sort of general intelligence to replicate a human. I think in the future, let's say 5 years, we're going to see massive steps there. So I think my summary comment would be, it's great in some use cases, but don't take it too far.
Yes, I hear you. And as you say, AI has been around for decades. And I think people are getting more and more used to this way of interacting and, you know, chatbots and what have you. So the more people get used to it and the more they interact, I think the more, the more applicable it is. So, yeah, okay. Say again, Hussam?
I say that the more trust will build with the time when people start using the technology. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, adding that personal touch, you know, try and make the user on the other side feel as connected as possible. Okay. What would you say, Hussam, comes first, customer experience or employee experience? So, and how would you say novomind contributes to bridging these two?
Yeah, actually, this is a very difficult question when actually so actually I don't think so. Some of them coming first. Actually, they are coming together because it's really having a very big reflect to each other. So if the customer experience, if the customer have a good experience, then it will be make it easy for the employee also to have a good experience. The same thing, if the employee have a good experience, the way he provide his job, this is also reflecting to customers. Okay, so it's not something coming before each other, it have to come together actually. And we witness actually here from the market, and we learn from our customer that also there is a lot of importance of employees' experience and using technology to enhance this. So they consider the employee as a customer as well. So the same things or the same behavior we see to enhance customer experience, we saw it also and implemented also in our solution to increase the employee experience. So if we take the call center as an example, the agent experience also is so important. And for novomind, this is one of the main things which is we implemented different features in our tools to help this. For example, we help always agent to have a recommended answer to customer question. We help him to show the customer journey, so he knows his customer well before he contact him. So he sees that this customer already contacted us before. We do sentiment analysis. So from the conversation, we can see the tone of the customer. Is angry, or neutral, or happy. So there's many things there, and it's always come together. For customer experience, definitely, it's always important, and it's always as a kind of the known measurement for organization, customer service success, but also the same thing for employment experience.
Thanks, Hossam. I think you explained that absolutely perfectly. Rupert, I have a question for you. Can B2B companies use the same customer service strategies as B2C companies do?
I think absolutely, and I can't emphasize that enough. So B2B customers expect a similar level of service that they get from B2C. And I think in general, B2B organizations have a massive amount of catching up in terms of their B2B counterparts. Across every sort of area, I think B2B are replicating the B2B strategy. So for example, B2B organizations are advertising on television, offering customer service via traditional B2B channels. I see quite a lot of early adopters here in financial services and tech. However, on the other hand, you've got companies like John Deere, who is a manufacturer of agricultural machinery. They're offering customer service via WhatsApp, and you can't get much more B2B than John Deere. So I think over the next 5 years, the difference in strategy between customer experience between the B2B and the B2C will just continue to narrow, and that's effectively forced by customer experience and customers' expectations.
Great, thank you. Now a question for Hossam with regards to WhatsApp. From your experience, can the introduction of WhatsApp increase the number of customer service contacts or service quality? And if yes, by roughly how much % would you say?
Definitely yes. And this actually, of course, it differs from market to market and from from sector to sector, vertical to vertical. Okay, but for normally those vertical, which is B2C, which is interacting within the consumer more, definitely WhatsApp actually help a lot to increase the customer engagement. The reason of WhatsApp, we can all understand why customer engagement can increase, because WhatsApp, no one need to install a mobile app, and this mobile app you need to train to use it. Everyone have WhatsApp. Everyone knows how to send message and receive message and use the feature of WhatsApp, which is sharing image or sharing location or sharing document. Okay, so there is, when it comes to sector, for example, sector like insurance, where we have some big insurance here as a customer for us, this actually changes the business big time, as well as health, or as well as the municipality services, city services. Okay, so as a percentage, I can tell you that this can increase the engagement by around 30%. This is what we witnessed from actual use cases, but also it have another reflect, which is can optimize the operation of customer service into call center, for example, because moving to WhatsApp, it will allow organization to have less voice call, which is the most expensive service offering into customer service is a voice call, because it involves both technology and the human cost as well. But WhatsApp, it will be actually, you can introduce self-services over chatbot. You can do some API integration to provide automatic self-service, as well as, of course, you can hand it over to live agent. So this is my answer for your question. And definitely, we witness, as you mentioned, with the chatbot, the more people see it, the more people use it. So the curve of using WhatsApp engagement is in increasing phase.
Excellently put, thank you. Rupert, a question for you. In terms of proving a good customer experience or customer service, what are some of the biggest frustrations that businesses and customers are experiencing?
So there's probably two parts to that question. So looking at organizations, I'd probably say rather than frustrations, I'd probably say challenges. So I think for organisations that the biggest challenge is the cultural change, and I think this needs to come from a top down within the organisation. So this is more about people change, mindset changes rather than tech. I think in the future, customer service should be part of the marketing function under the CMO. And I think that creates a shift. So there's a lot of organisations focused on cutting costs in a customer service, and I think that's the wrong approach. I think customers engaging with organisations need to have that interaction. So customer service might be the only chance that a company gets to engage with that customer in a competitive market. And I think it's the organisation's chance to shine and deepen that loyalty. From a customer side, I think they want high quality interaction across all channels. And I don't think that in general that doesn't exist, or it rarely exists in any sector to the level that it's required right now. In terms of technology, well, the tools are available. I don't think there's a shortage of tools. Of course, novomind is a fantastic platform. And I think in general, the tools are ahead of what organisations think they need. I generally give the example of mobile phone companies and internet providers. Typically, to engage with them is not so great from my perspective in the UK. Whether if I engage via telephone, it's pretty challenging experience. When I engage by chat, it's the same. And of course, I remember that when I go to renew my contract, and particularly the younger generation, it's more about the experience than always price. So this has a massive impact on contract renewals, revenue, and customers are expecting a far greater level of customer service than they're currently able to receive, I'd say, in most organisations.
Great, thank you, Rupert. Now let's just move on to next generation contact centers. How would you bridge the voice to digital channel? Hossam?
Yeah, so the next generation contact center, in our understanding and definition and the market understanding, that actually the customer moved to digital, but still voice is there and important. So instead of the voice to be a tradition or old, now it have to bridge with the digital. Bridging with digital means that you need to allow your customer to contact you in the channel he prefers, and you always offer him to move this channel. Either if it's digital, you need to go to voice, or the vice versa. In a voice, you need to go to digital. So this is actually one of the things. The next generation contact center as well come into introducing voice call center or customer service into other channel like Microsoft Teams, because Microsoft Teams now, specifically last 2 years when the Corona, all organization, because they work remotely, adapted to have Microsoft Teams or other collaboration tool like GoToMeeting or Zoom as well. So adding call center into those channels as well is one of the next generation contact center, where people can call a number, and if the call center answer and they need to forward this to an internal employee, so you don't need to forward anymore to an extension. It have to be forwarded into Microsoft Teams. So in novomind, we actually having this bridge. So novomind, we are coming from digital era. So all since novomind established, we do digital, but last 5 years, we already focus in voice as well, but we come with a next generation voice call center, where we bridge between the voice and digital. So if a customer waiting in the queue, he don't wait. He can actually request call back, or he can move to WhatsApp. Just he press the button, he will receive a WhatsApp message, so continues there. As well as if the agent receives a call and he need to find out that this call have to be handled from internal employees, you can forward this call into Microsoft Teams. So the customer is still calling one number in the call center, and he can actually having this great of next generation contact center experience.
Great, thanks, Hossam. All right, I see the time is ticking by quite quickly, so I would now like to open the floor to questions from our attendees. And I see we do have a question here. Would you say AI is more focused today on augmenting productivity of the customer service employees, or more focused on improving the customer experience? Who'd like to tackle that question?
I think that's one for Hossam.
It's a good question, actually. I think it reflects more, but maybe in customer service it's adapted more, actually, because normally AI work when there is a data. So when there is a lot of data, a lot of logs, a lot of data, the AI work well. So we know all that the customer experience, there is a call, there is logs, where we can utilize the AI to analyze or to predict or to build an NLP understanding. But for the augment productivity, maybe it's not that at mature yet in the AI adaptation as customer service because of the availability of the data as well. But with the digital transformation of all industry, definitely it comes to them. So this is my quick answer.
Thanks, Hossam. Another question. So another person says, yeah, it sounds too good, but how secure are these applications to be used at the larger scale, GDPR?
Okay, this is great. This is great question. Robert, can you allow me to answer this question?
Go for it.
Yes. So this is a very important question, and this is one of the key points when we implement any automation over social media channel or adapting AI or these things. So there is always a guideline we have to follow. So personal information should not be part of what should be shared in messaging channel or chatbot conversation over social media. This is one thing. So adapting GDPR and using the AI on large scale is not yet well because of the GDPR, but this is not an obstacle actually, because there's still a lot of use cases, a lot of scenarios, a lot of FAQs, a lot of self-service, which will not be actually touching anything related to personal data or personal information.
Great, thank you, Hossam. You answered that very well. Right. Do we have any more questions from our attendees? If not, we will wrap up, but let's see if we have any more questions.
I think we are exactly on time. This is perfect.
We are. Yeah, we've got 1 minute left. So if we don't have any questions from our attendees, I'm just going to throw a question out to you, Rupert, if you don't mind, just to wrap this webinar up. So which industries are really behind the curve when it comes to using omni-channel technologies to enhance customer experience? So in your opinion, which industries would you say?
So this is fascinating, and I'll try and keep the answer concise. I wouldn't say it's necessarily any industries that are particularly behind the curve. It's more that organizations or even direct competitors are delivering completely different levels of customer experience. I think, as I said before, this is more culture driven from the top. Sometimes sort of older and more traditional organizations are behind the curve, but that's not a fixed rule. So generally, I don't see a specific trend, although not for profit are a little bit behind, although I see a lot of catching up in that area.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Hossam, a last word from you. Do you want to say anything?
No, actually everything is looks good. Thank you so much for the attendees, and thank you so much to Michelle and Robert for the interesting question and also the experience I got from you, Robert. And we are looking forward to, if anyone need anything, we are happy to have other webinars again.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Rupert and Hossam, and thanks to the attendees for joining. This has been a great Q&A session, and I hope that some of your questions were answered to your best, yeah, how do I say it, to make you feel more and more confident with regards to AI, novomind, etc., etc. Should we wrap up then, folk?
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yes.